there and good morning. You're now watching Malaysia Decides with me, Handy Gui.
And I'm Brian Liu. 我是 Brian Ibin.
In Malaysia Decides, we bring to you all the updates on GE15. All these on Channel 122, Astro and MYTV. For more headlines anytime, just head on to our official website at tvstv.my or follow us on our social media platforms. And don't forget, you can also get the information on candidates that are contesting on our microsite at election.tvstv.my.
是的，那在第15届全国大选特别节目 Malaysia Decides 呢，将会为你带来最新的大选详情和消息。只要锁定在 Astro 122这个频道和 MyTV 都可以收看得到。如果想要获取更多焦点的新闻，随时都可以访问我们的官网 tvstv.my 或者是关注我们的社交媒体平台。还有，别忘了，你也可以在我们的 election.tvstv.my 获取有关这一次选举候选人的信息。
Now, the topic today is something that relates to all of us, harmony in diversity. And this is something that is possible if we are governed by a stable government. And we in Sarawak are lucky to be governed by the GPS government. Now, let's take a look at what the GPS government has done in the past few years.
Antara inisiatif-inisiatif Kerajaan Sarawak termasuk bantuan ibu bersalin BIB sebanyak RM450. Inisiatif Kerajaan Sarawak ini merupakan pemberian sebanyak RM450 dalam bentuk tunai kepada setiap ibu berstatus K atau isteri kepada pemegang kad pengenalan berstatus K yang melahirkan anak. Bantuan ini disediakan bagi membantu keperluan ibu selepas melahirkan anak seperti pemakanan sihat serta penjagaan diri semasa tempoh berpantang bermula tahun 2020 tanpa mengira bangsa, agama atau status sosio-ekonomi. Sumbangan RM1,000 untuk setiap bayi baru lahir menerusi Endowment Fund Sarawak EFS. Bantuan bayi kelahiran Sarawak bernilai RM1,000 dimulakan pada tahun 2019 untuk setiap anak kelahiran Sarawak. Insentif yang digerakkan oleh Kementerian Pembangunan Wanita dan Kanak-kanak ini bertujuan untuk membantu anak kelahiran Sarawak bagi mempersiapkan diri untuk melangkah ke alam dewasa kelak. Melaksanakan 9 pakej bantuan khas Sarawak Kusayang BKSS. Kerajaan Sarawak memperkenalkan 9 pakej BKSS berjumlah RM6.7 bilion bagi membantu rakyat yang terkesan akibat COVID-19 sejak 2020 sehingga kini. Pelaksanaan bermula daripada BKSS 1.0 yang dilancarkan pada 23 Mac 2020 sehingga BKSS 9.0 pada 29 Ogos lalu. Pusat Komuniti Sehenti Bersepadu. Projek Pusat Komuniti Keperluan Khas SNCC telah pun diluluskan di bawah rancangan Malaysia ke-12 menelan kos RM55 juta dan dijangka siap menjelang Disember 2025. Penubuhan SNCC bertujuan untuk memenuhi seluruh spektrum keperluan orang kurang upaya OKU dari muda sehingga dewasa melalui pelbagai akses seperti diagnosis, intervensi awal, pendidikan rendah dan menengah, latihan vokasional, bengkel, pusat jagaan harian, sukan dan rekreasi serta rumah kediaman sepenuh masa. Kompleks Unit Hal Ehwal Agama-Agama Lain ataupun Unifor. Sebagai usaha menjana keharmonian amalan beragama di Sarawak, Unifor akan dibina di atas tanah seluas 1,214 hektar dengan peruntukan geran RM70 juta. Kompleks ini akan menjadi wadah kepada ketua-ketua agama berkaitan berkumpul dan berbincang mengenai agama serta aktiviti kemasyarakatan. Kenyalang Gold Card KGC. Selaras dengan hasrat Kerajaan Sarawak yang ingin mewujudkan masyarakat penyayang serta menyumbang kembali kepada masyarakat. Menubuhkan agensi pembangunan. Sebagai usaha menyelaraskan pembangunan infrastruktur di seluruh negeri agar lebih efisien, Kerajaan Sarawak mengambil inisiatif menubuhkan agensi-agensi pembangunan. Agensi-agensi pembangunan yang terlibat adalah Agensi Pembangunan Bersepadu Betong (BIDA), Agensi Pembangunan Bersepadu Hulu Rajang (URDA), Agensi Pembangunan Bersepadu bagi Kawasan Tanah Tinggi Ulu Baram (HDA), Agensi Pembangunan Bersepadu Sri Aman Sada dan Agensi Pembangunan Bersepadu Samarahan IRSDA. Membina jalan utama kedua STR dan melengkapkan rangkaian jalan pesisir pantai. Inisiatif projek pembinaan jalan utama kedua STR bagi pakej B1 menghubungkan Sebuyau ke Lingga sepanjang 28.5 km dijangka siap Mei 2025. Setelah siap projek itu nanti diyakini akan memberi manfaat kepada penduduk tempatan khususnya di daerah yang terlibat. Lebuh Raya Pesisir Utara. Projek Lebuh Raya Jalan Pesisir Utara merupakan salah satu lebuh raya yang termasuk dalam projek pembangunan mega yang dilaksanakan agensi pelaksana di bawah Lembaga Pembangunan Koridor Wilayah Rikoda iaitu Agensi Pembangunan Wilayah Utara NRDA. Projek mega sepanjang 86 km itu bermula pada Tahun Harapan yang akan memakan masa 48 bulan. Sarawak-Sabah Link Road. Pembinaan Sarawak-Sabah Link Road SSLR yang menelan kos sebanyak 1.13 bilion ringgit bakal menjadi game changer kepada pembangunan di kawasan utara negeri Sarawak. Siapnya SSLR kelak akan membawa kemudahan bekalan elektrik dan grid air di sepanjang jalan itu dan dijangka siap pada 2024 sehingga 2025. Pembinaan sekolah. Usaha menaik taraf sekolah usang adalah antara keutamaan Kerajaan Sarawak bagi menyediakan persekitaran pembelajaran dan pengajaran yang selamat dan kondusif untuk pendidik dan pelajar. Sejak tahun 2016, pelbagai projek baik pulih, bina semula dan penempatan semula sekolah telah dan sedang dilaksanakan. Bantuan komputer kepada sekolah rendah. Inisiatif pengagihan komputer Raspberry Pi pernah dilaksanakan pada tahun 2021 melibatkan sebanyak 1,265 sekolah rendah di seluruh Sarawak. Komputer ini tidak seperti komputer harian yang digunakan kerana ia berfungsi sebagai rangkaian internet dan memastikan pembelajaran masih boleh berlangsung walaupun tidak ada sambungan internet. Peluang melanjutkan pelajaran. Terdapat 5 institusi pengajian tinggi IPT yang dimiliki Kerajaan Sarawak menjadi alternatif untuk pelajar di negeri ini melanjutkan pelajaran. Inisiatif ini memberi peluang kepada para pelajar yang tidak mempunyai peluang melanjutkan pengajian di Universiti Awam selepas permohonan mereka menerusi unit Pusat Universiti UPU ditolak. Skim Bantuan Deposit Perumahan Sarawak HDAS. Skim ini ditawarkan kepada golongan B40 dan M40 di Sarawak boleh mula dipohon mulai Januari 2022. Skim ini merupakan antara inisiatif Kerajaan Sarawak untuk membantu rakyat memiliki kediaman sendiri khususnya golongan muda. Projek Transformasi Luar Bandar Sarawak RTP. Sarawak menjadi negeri tunggal di Malaysia menyediakan inisiatif ini di setiap kawasan Dewan Undangan Negeri DUN dan Parlimen untuk melaksanakan pembangunan di setiap kawasan di negeri ini. Projek di bawah program Transformasi Luar Bandar RTP yang diperkenalkan pada 2015 bertujuan untuk merapatkan jurang perbezaan pembangunan di kawasan bandar dengan luar bandar di seluruh Sarawak. Pusat Penyelidikan Penyakit Berjangkit. Inisiatif Pusat Penyelidikan Penyakit Berjangkit Sarawak dibangunkan dengan peruntukan 200 juta ringgit. Pusat ini akan dilengkapi dengan peranti dan mesin perubatan terkini termasuk program analitik bagi melakukan penyelidikan menggunakan sumber biodiversity yang terdapat di negeri ini untuk menghasilkan produk perubatan dan juga vaksin. Pelan Tindakan Kelestarian Alam Sekitar. Pelan Tindakan Sarawak Lestari dibangunkan untuk membimbing semua agensi kerajaan, perniagaan dan komuniti dalam mencapai matlamat kemampanan yang diingini. Selain itu, pelan ini bertujuan untuk menangani kebimbangan berkaitan pemeliharaan biodiversiti dan juga pengurusan sumber asli. Dan itulah dia sedikit perincian mengenai inisiatif-inisiatif Kerajaan Sarawak. Sayang Malaysia, into Malaysia, #MalaysiaDecides.
Kapit sering dikaitkan dengan 3 definisi. Kapit sebagai sebuah daerah dikendalikan di bawah Majlis Daerah Kapit bersama 3 lagi daerah iaitu daerah Song, Belaga dan Bukit Mabung. Kapit sebagai sebuah bahagian pula terdiri daripada dua parlimen iaitu Hulu Rajang dan Kapit. Manakala Kapit sebagai sebuah parlimen terdiri daripada 3 DUN, DUN N61 Pelagus, N62 Katibas dan N63 Bukit Goram. Lebih 50 tahun bergantung 100% kepada pengangkutan air, dulu dan kini ketara berbeza di Parlimen 215 Kapit. Parlimen Kapit diwakili oleh Dato Alexander Nantalinggi, cucu kepada Mendiang Tun Juga, Presiden PBB yang pertama di Sarawak dan anak tunggal kepada bekas ahli politik terkemuka iaitu Tan Sri Leonard Linggi. Darah kepimpinan pastinya mengalir dalam diri bekas ahli perniagaan ini melihat kepada perjalanan kerjayanya dalam politik yang mengikuti jejak mendiang datuknya menyertai PBB pada 1983 dan memegang beberapa jawatan penting dalam parti tersebut. Pernah juga berkhidmat sebagai setiausaha politik kepada Ketua Menteri Sarawak ketika itu iaitu Tuan Yang Terutama Tun Pehin Sri Abdul Taib Mahmud selama 6 tahun sehinggalah dipilih mewakili parlimen tempat kelahiran sendiri bermula tahun 1999 sambil memegang jawatan sebagai Menteri Perdagangan Dalam Negeri dan Hal Ehwal Pengguna. 5 penggal berturut-turut mentadbir Kapit. Dato Alexander yang ketika itu mewakili Barisan Nasional mengekalkan rekod tanpa kalahnya pada PRU 14 menentang Paren Anak Nyawi daripada Pakatan Harapan dengan majoriti kemenangan sebanyak 10,479. Dan sebagai anak kelahiran Kapit sendiri, Dato Alexander sudah semestinya tahu selok-belok pembangunan yang diperlukan oleh rakyat setempat. Kapit Lily Pond, tempat yang saya berada kini ialah antara tarikan baru di Kapit, tempat untuk meluangkan masa bersama yang tersayang, berekreasi, bersukan dan banyak lagi bertempat di Jalan Memora. Projek pengindahan Kapit Lily Pond bernilai 12 juta ringgit ini seiring dengan projek tebingan Sungai Kapit yang disiapkan pada tahun 2019 dari Pangkalan Ekspres Kapit ke Jeti Kargo Sylvia dalam usaha menjadikan Kapit sebagai bandar rekreasi keluarga. Menelusuri jalan di tengah-tengah bandar Kapit ini, di sebelah kiri saya merupakan Wharf Express Kapit yang sudah dinaik taraf dengan beberapa kemudahan baru, meriah dengan kunjungan orang awam yang semestinya datang untuk berkunjung di Kapit Town Square, kawasan tumpuan yang pastinya meningkatkan ekonomi penduduk tempatan dengan pembukaan pelbagai gerai jualan. Dahulu, penggunaan bot ekspres merentasi Sungai Rajang ini merupakan mod pengangkutan utama dan penting menghubungkan penduduk yang tinggal di sepanjang sungai ini ke pekan atau bandar. Kini, penduduk sudah mempunyai pilihan sama ada menggunakan bot ekspres atau menaiki pengangkutan darat sahaja kerana antara perubahan besar yang dapat dilihat kini di Parlimen Kapit khususnya ialah infrastruktur jalan raya. Panorama indah Gunung Ganang, Bukit Bukau serta penempatan penduduk rumah panjang yang tersergam indah di sepanjang jalan ini dapat dilihat apabila anda melalui jalan Kanawit Song Kapit. Bermula dari jambatan Kanawit ke Kapit, projek pembinaan jalan ini melibatkan 3 pakej dengan komponen utamanya iaitu pembinaan 3 jambatan dengan R3 Standard Single Carriageway Tar Silt. Missing link sepanjang 9 km antara Ngemah, Kanawit dan Temalat juga sudah siap sepenuhnya pada 2020 mengakhiri penantian selama lebih 50 tahun masyarakat Kapit untuk melihat jalan ini siap sepenuhnya. Sekarang, masyarakat dah boleh menggunakan pengangkutan darat untuk keluar masuk ke kawasan setempat, tak perlu lagi menunggu dan terbatas dengan jadual bot ekspres yang sedia ada. Sama juga boleh pilih untuk tidak lagi menggunakan bot ekspres bagi perjalanan dari Sibu ke Kapit, jimat sehingga 2 jam perjalanan dengan pembinaan jambatan berkembar Yong Kapit. Dahulunya mempunyai 1 laluan sahaja, digunakan sejak 2016 tapi dinaik taraf pada 2019 menjadi jambatan berkembar merentasi Sungai Yong Kapit. Unik seni binanya disediakan juga ruang khas yang selamat untuk kenderaan berhenti, mungkin untuk para pengguna mengabadikan foto kenang-kenangan atau berehat seketika menikmati keindahan alam semula jadi. Pembangunan infrastruktur jalan raya serta jambatan seperti ini merupakan game changer kepada kepesatan pembangunan infrastruktur yang lain di Kapit seperti bekalan air terawat, bekalan elektrik menerusi sistem solar SARES ke kawasan pedalaman serta rangkaian internet dan telekomunikasi. Memantapkan lagi pembangunan di Parlimen Kapit ini ialah kedudukannya sebagai salah satu kawasan di bawah agensi pembangunan Ulu Rajang Urda. Menerusi Urda, Kapit yang suatu ketika dahulu merupakan satu-satunya pusat pentadbiran bahagian negeri yang tidak dapat dihubungi dengan jalan raya, kini terus diperkasa dengan pelbagai limpahan pembangunan.
And there you have it, a small glimpse of what Kapit has to offer. Now, the topic for today is something that relates to all of us, harmony in diversity. Our country is the best example of this concept, as we can see very clearly. In Malaysia, Sarawak is a model state of unity and harmony. Sarawakians celebrate festivities together, share the same table at eateries, and support each other's businesses regardless of their religious or racial backgrounds. And this is where it all begins, where humanity, inclusiveness, unity, and respect for all the diverse members of the Malaysian family can be nurtured.
没错，今天要一起来探讨的这个主题呢，跟我们所有的人其实都是息息相关的，那就是多元里的和谐。那提到多元性呢，我们所居住和生长的这个地方就是一个最好的例子了。我们可以很清楚的看到沙捞越的团结和和谐呢，是全马的一个典范。比如说，沙捞越人在一起庆祝这个节日啦，那在餐馆或者是kopi tiam可以一起用一张的桌子来共享美食，这些都不成问题。甚至支持皮子的这个店面和业务等等，无论大家是什么种族或者是宗教背景都好，都不是问题。所以呢，沙捞越可以扮演楷模的这个角色哦，让全马不同阶层的人们一起打造这个充满人道、包容、团结和互相尊重的社会。
Today, we will be joined by Dato Jonathan Chai, the Secretary General of the Sarawak Business Federation, where we will be discussing all aspects, including education, business, and the GE15. Welcome, Dato. Thank you for taking your time out to share your insights. Now, without further ado, let's dive into the first question. Yeah? Okay. Now, strengthening the harmony and social cohesion to ensure the unity and well-being of the people has been something that Sarawak has been practicing and known for its diverse culture. And we can see from the past until now, such diversity can be seen in schools, in business, in coffee shops, such as Chinese stall having Malay customers and vice versa. Now, in your point of view, how has this diversity benefit us fellow Sarawakians and Malaysia as a whole?
For me, I see this diversity is indeed the asset for this country. I think that makes our culture so colorful and unique. As mentioned by you, that we have no problem in sitting together. Actually, I could recall there is one coffee shop along this Baturintang. If you frequent the shop, you would realize that there are a lot of people from a different racial background. They can sit and enjoy the meal together under one roof. This is the kind of scenario that probably you cannot see in West Malaysia. But something that I have to emphasize here, we should not take this diversity in unity for granted. That's why we must always remember, because every now and then we have politicians making insensitive remarks, or even at times seditious statements, which are harmful to the national unity. Yeah. So we hope that we could see this as an asset, and that's why the communities in Sarawak is very different. They can live in peace and harmony, and despite the differences in their belief. This is really something very special and unique.
OK， 那达豆，你是否认为说，在我们社会的每一个层面来灌输这个SARAWAK sayang的这个我亲爱沙捞越的这种精神？和宽容是不是应该也是非常的这个重要的吧？
当然，我爱沙捞越的这个配套，它是让各个阶层的人民受惠嘛。 不管是什么种族，不管是什么阶层啊，包括 M40 or B40. This is a very unique package in the sense that actually it look at the needs rather than the rest or the background of the recipients or the beneficiary. So this is a need-based policy rather than a rest-based policy. I think we should encourage this kind of policy so that anyone who is in need in the state will get the support and benefit from the state.
Now, Dato', as we know, welfare assistance is colorblind. And as a community leader, how many have you assisted personally in getting monthly welfare and medical assistance, for example?
In my past experience, I have not actually helped them to get the social welfare as such. But when I came across anyone who is in need, I would refer them to apply to the social welfare department. Actually, we have all kinds of social welfare assistance. For example, for the single parents and for the senior citizen. I think maybe the problems for the B40 is that it is about awareness and accessibility for the assistance. Sometimes those people in this category, they are not well informed. So they need to be guided to go to the relevant department to apply for the support and the subsidies.
OK， 那其实提到这个 BKSS 呢，就是我最亲爱的沙拉越的这个援助配套呢，其实就是在帮助过去2年我们这些商界呢，这些业者呢都面对很大的一个打击。那这么多次这一系列的这个我最亲爱的沙拉越的这个配套，是不是真的对于这些业者或者所有的人来说，是不是真的是有进行到一个解救的一个方案，或者是真的让大家度过了这个难关了呢？
这个确实帮助到很多的商家，特别是沙捞越。沙捞越政府是马来西亚全国唯一的政府去资助那个利息的。Sarawak is as far as I know, is by far the only state which provide interest subsidy to those SME who have obtained from Bank Negara through the SRF Special Relief Fund facilities or the Penjara tourism package. Sarawak government came in to subsidize interest for 3.5 years. This is something that you cannot get it elsewhere in Malaysia. Indeed, all this assistance has helped one way or the others the business community to overcome the challenges encountered by them, especially during the pandemic period. I have to say that the other facilities or the other package introduced by the federal government is the WSP, Wage Subsidy Program, the Wages Subsidy Program. That means they subsidize the employer to pay for the salary of the employee. This is something that have indeed helped a lot of the businesses to pull through this very challenging and difficult period.
Now, Dato', still on the BKSS topic, small and medium enterprises make up 98% of the country's business establishments, contributing to 38% of the nation's GDP. Yes. Now, being the backbone of the country, how can they benefit from the initiatives provided with the possibility to create more business opportunities?
As I said, the assistance or the subsidies provided via the BKSS packages, they have one way or the others help the businesses to keep their business afloat, so that they will continue to hire those people to work for them. Otherwise, if the business closed down, a lot of people will lose their job.
Yeah.
And of course, as you may be aware, over this 2 years period, Sarawak government has introduced, I think, all in all 9 packages, totaling about 6.7 billion. Oh, this is a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I think no state in Malaysia has gone to that extent to help its people and businesses. This is something really not only help the business to keep them alive and to keep the job for many employees as well. Yeah.
I see. So,
Okay.
in your own words, how does these assistances cater to better administration to ensure that development and social assistance are implemented in an integrated and comprehensive manner?
You mean how could it improve, or
How can it cater to like better administration for both the employee and the employer? All these assistance, like BKSS is for both the employee and employer, right? For SMEs? Yeah.
Of course, other than this, the packages, I think some of the issues that we hope that the state government could look into is the inflationary pressure from the goods and services. And also not only the aids or the financial assistance from these packages. One of the problems that has really affected the businesses is the renewal of the work permit for the foreign workers.
Okay.
You know, a lot of industries requires the service or the employment of foreign workers. But sadly, during this period, we have problems in getting the work permits, or even those who are already here, we have problems in getting their permits renewed. We don't know where the problems lie, but this is the issue that we need to tackle and resolve. Not only the financial assistance.
那刚才提到的，其实就是说在援助，在疫情方面的援助，还有在复苏方面的一个协助。那提到说，在这个商业或者是比较大型企业或者集团方面呢，那本地的中小企业怎么去在获得这些帮助之后，可以有机会获得比较大的一些 project， 比较大的一些项目这样子呢？
There have always been complaints that there are a lot of mega projects or from foreign investment that came in from overseas. That local SME, how do they able to benefit from all this investment? I think there are 2 key issues that we can look at. One is we have to make sure that they employ the local people. They source the workers locally. And of course, some of the industry requires skilled workforce. It takes time to train people. So that involves technology transfer. So our government, maybe we should prioritize those investments who put emphasis in getting local people employed and willing to share their technologies with our local partners. Some of the big projects, perhaps we could look at collaboration between those big foreign companies with the local SME, so that not only they invested in Sarawak, the local people, especially the local businesses, they can actually benefit from those investments.
OK， 那当然，如果是提到这一点的话，可能政府方面在提供就是一些培训方面，怎么去提升我们自己本身这些业者的生产力，这些还有技能也很重要，对吧，大董？
对，非常重要。你看呢， 我们的这个 skill workforce，the skill workforce in Sarawak, if I were not wrong, I read it somewhere. We had only about 19% of our workforce which are classified as skilled workforce, which is lower than the national average. National average is something like, I think, 28%. But in Selangor, 40% of their workforce are skilled workforce. So there is a gap, you know. You can bring a lot of industry to come in to set up, especially in Bintulu. But we must face the limitation that are we having enough people, especially the skilled people, qualified people, to work for this industry, to support these industries. That's why not long ago, I read about a news that there was a Thai company in collaboration with, I think, Petronas, setting up a sour gas treatment plant in Samalaju in Bintulu. That project alone, they need 600 chemical engineers. Just imagine that we have to come up with these 600 engineers to support the industry. That's why we appeal to the young people, especially those in the universities or those, even though those who are already having a job, they can reskill and upskill themselves. For those university students, we would want them to come back eventually, come back to work in Sarawak. There will be a lot of opportunities. Yeah.
All right, Dato'. As you mentioned earlier, the partnership between international and domestic, it will provide a win-win situation for both, right? So since COVID-19, how many big partnership has been done?
You mean partnership between
international and domestic companies, for instance?
Oh, I mean, if you read the news, I think we have attracted a lot of foreign investors to come in, especially to set up plants and factories in Bintulu. You know, as I mentioned just now, the one collaborated between a Thai company and Petronas, that is a sour gas treatment plant. On top of that, we have philo alloy plants from Japan, I think. And not only this, if you are talking about business opportunities at the international level, I think we should also look at the issue of asset, regional economic cooperation partnership. Because Malaysia has ratified this trade treaty, this is the liberalization of the trade with elimination of the tariff. It involved, I think, 15 countries. It constitutes about 30% of the global GDP. So Malaysia is actually accessible to all those countries who signed the treaty. So we are talking about a market of about 2.2 billion. This is a big market, a huge market. I think the local businesses should take advantage in preparing themselves to venture and penetrate into this market. You remember, I think about 2 days ago, our Premier has mentioned after he attended, I think, an activities in Waterfront on the franchise industry. He gave a very good example. if we, especially the SME, if you can sell a product, even within the ASEAN region, you are accessible to about 600 million population. This is a huge market. But in order to penetrate the market, we must be ready. Oh? We must be ready. We must have the skill. We must have the skill, and then we must have the. We must be ready to adopt digital transformation. Yeah.
Okay. Now, Dato, with these opportunities, do you think this will be able to lure Sarawakians from abroad to come back and work?
I would think so. I would think so, because in time to come, there will be a lot of opportunities, especially as we gear towards achieving the high income economy by 2030. With the PCDS, Post-COVID Development Strategy 2030. I think a lot more Sarawakians who are either working or staying abroad, they will come back. As long as there are opportunities, yes.
Okay. 那刚刚说到是比较大型的一些中小企业，那可能我们来聊一些小企业或者是微型企业哦。那在商业机会方面，这些小型企业家或者是贸易商，微型企业啦，要如何比较有效的提供他们一些商业的机会呢？
我觉得主要是说，我讲一点中文。
OK，
主要是资讯呐，很多的商业机会，你要知道有这样的商业机会，你才会去从事这个生意嘛。所以我们商会也好，我们常常有举办这些商业访问团，去参加这些商展啊，这些就是发掘做生意的机会。I share about in English a little bit. In order to have this opportunity, business opportunity, first we must have the information. We must be informed that the market conditions and in order to penetrate the market, and that's why just about 2 weeks ago, Sarawak Chinese Chamber of Commerce, we organized a trade delegation to Jakarta in Indonesia. This is, in fact, one of the purposes is to allow the members to have access to trade expo, to familiarize themselves. The other thing is, whether you like it or not, we must transform our business operation. For example, digitalization, like the online platform for the F&B business, food and beverage. You know that this is a big business. Not only the conventional way of doing business, you have the physical shop, but on top of that, you can have online business. The market is has no limitation, you know. That's why SME, whether it's micro or small enterprise, we must be ready to transform the way we do business. That's why we are talking about digital economy.
Okay, now transforming business operation. How much have we moved into digital adoption? Do you have the percentage or like at the top of your head?
No, I don't have the actual figure or the statistic, but from my dealing with the members of business organizations, I think sometimes we feel very sad. People are still very reluctant to adjust to this new business model. You know, whether we like it or not, the skilled workforce, as I mentioned just now, especially those with digital knowledge, digital skill, we are still very lacking. And the other thing is connectivity. That's why our state government has been trying very hard to invest a lot of money in upgrading our internet connectivities and also the internet speed. These are the prerequisites if we want to do well in digital economy. We need to have the people, the talents, and also the facilities. This must be ready.
说到这个数码经济，其实我们沙拉越的政府就一直在大力的鼓吹，还有推动这个数码经济这一块。那其实商界要怎么去启动这个数码经济？我觉得很多业者都很想要往这个 digital economy 的这个方向前进，大家都很努力。可是他们要怎么去进去？他们可能也在努力，但是政府方面可以去怎么去协助他们呢
？Actually, whether in federal budget or the state budget, they do provide subsidies or incentives for those businesses who want to transform or upgrade their business operation, including this automation, and also upgrading by way of digital technology. That's why the way forward is, if we look around in overseas, the rest of the world, everybody is gearing up towards Industrial Revolution 4.0. This is the process we have to go through. There is no shortcut, and we cannot avoid, and we must be ready to adjust the way we do business. My advice is, there are a lot of subsidies and incentives provided in the budget, whether it's federal budget or the state budget. Make full use of the opportunities and the support available, and to upgrade and to improve our operation, so that to make ourselves relevant in the way of doing business in future.
Now, Dato, just now you said earlier about the 3 core in digital, and this was mentioned in GPS manifesto, right?
Yeah.
Can you expand on that?
You mean
The core in digital, in digitalization?
That's why, as I mentioned, like for the state, I think the Mintrade, Ministry of Entrepreneurship Development, they have provided a package called Go Digital something. These are the things that we need to capitalize. And on top of that, there is a good news actually. In this year state budget, our Sarawak government has actually provided 20 million to be part with Sarawak Business Federation for intended for business recovery fund. But the purpose is to develop entrepreneurship and to develop or enlarge business capacity. We are going to organize training programs or courses and open for registration or open for participation of the members of our Sarawak Business Federation. We hope that the SME would grab this opportunity to upgrade themselves, whether by upskilling or reskilling, and to get ready, and so that they are well prepared for the next wave of development.
Okay, thank you, Dato. Right, before we move on with the discussion, we're going to take a short break, but in the meantime, let us watch a capsule on the P218 Sibuti Parliamentary Constituency. Enjoy.
那在我们继续讨论之前呢，先来稍作休息哦。这时候先来看看来自这个实务地的这个选区的一段资讯。
Saya dan kru TVS
baru saja mendarat di lapangan terbang antarabangsa Miri, tapi bukan untuk menjelajah bandaraya Miri, kerana untuk pengetahuan anda, bahagian Tenggara Miri ini merupakan kawasan permulaan bagi Parlimen P218 Sibuti. Parlimen Sibuti pada asalnya dibentuk daripada Parlimen Miri, sebuah parlimen besar selepas Parlimen Baram di bahagian Miri. Sejak diwujudkan pada 2008, Sibuti telah diterajui pemimpin dari parti PBB yang ketika itu mewakili Barisan Nasional. Namun parti PBB yang kini mewakili GPS masih teguh menerajui kawasan ini, menampilkan calon termuda Sarawak ketika PRU 14 iaitu Tuan Lukanisman Awang Sauni. Anak jati Miri berdarah kacukan Cina Melanau ini pernah berkhidmat di Jabatan Hal Ehwal Khas atau JASA dan mempunyai pengalaman bekerja secara dekat selama lebih 12 tahun kepada bekas ahli Parlimen Sibuti Allahyarham Datuk Haji Ahmad Lai yang banyak mendedahkan beliau kepada selok-belok perancangan mahupun keperluan rakyat di kawasan Sibuti. Beliau pada PRU 14 berjaya menewaskan 2 pencabar Jemaat Panjang mewakili PKR dan Zulaihi Bakar calon PAS dengan majoriti 3,676 undi. Kehidupan masyarakat di Parlimen Sibuti yang merangkumi 2 dun iaitu Dun Bekenu, sebuah dun di kawasan luar bandar, dan Dun Lambir yang merangkumi kawasan-kawasan tidak jauh dari Bandaraya Miri telah banyak berubah terutama dengan pembinaan akses jalan raya yang semakin baik. Jalan Raya Pesisir Bintulu Miri lengkap dengan lampu isyarat di persimpangan Sepupuk Nia kini kian dibanjiri pengguna jalan raya. Pembinaannya menggalakkan pertumbuhan pekan-pekan baru, seterusnya merancangkan kegiatan ekonomi penduduk serta membawa masuk lebih ramai pengunjung tempatan maupun antarabangsa yang datang kerana keindahan lokasi pelancongannya. Bagi kawasan luar bandar, urusan mengangkut hasil tani yang menjadi kegiatan utama ekonomi penduduk maupun urusan membina rumah panjang banyak dipermudahkan dengan pembinaan Jalan Perhubungan Desa JPD. Terbaru yang sudah siap pada suku kedua tahun 2021 ialah Jalan Rumah Edward Ekau di Sungai Serungut di tempat saya berada kini, Jalan Rumah Jorni Maringgai di Sungai Keladan serta Jalan Sungai Surup di Bakam. 4 lagi sedang rancak dibina dengan kesemua 7 projek JPD ini ialah 1.5 juta ringgit. Manakala pembinaan sekolah bagi generasi muda ini antara fokus utama pembangunan di Parlimen Sibuti. Sejak 2018, hampir 15 daripada 42 sekolah di Parlimen Sibuti sudah mendapat gantian penuh serta naik taraf bina sekolah baru. Setakat suku pertama 2022, 5 sekolah sedang dalam pelaksanaan di bawah projek gantian penuh. 3 daripadanya yang sedang rancak dibina iaitu SK Rancangan Sepupuk ini, SK Selanyau dan SK Kita, sekolah rendah terbesar di Parlimen Sibuti ini. Projek di bawah rancangan Malaysia ke-11 ini bakal siap di antara tahun 2023 dan 2024. Keistimewaan Parlimen Sibuti dilihat daripada kedudukannya yang terletak di pesisiran pantai. Namun, ingatkah anda dengan tragedi kepala kuda di Pantai Tusan yang pernah runtuh akibat hakisan pantai? Inilah juga yang dihadapi di Pantai Bungai Bekenu dengan hakisan serius kategori 1. Namun, masalah ini bakal diatasi dan dilaksanakan pada pusingan ketiga rancangan Malaysia ke-12 dengan peruntukan berjumlah 12 juta ringgit. Projek pengawalan hakisan Pantai Bungai ini nanti melibatkan kerja ukur dan penyiasatan tapak, reka bentuk dan pemantauan serta pembinaan lapisan lindung batu sepanjang 1.5 km. Projek ini adalah satu daripada 23.5 juta ringgit diperuntukkan untuk mengatasi masalah hakisan pantai di Parlimen Sibuti, di mana satu lagi projek ialah di Kampung Kuala Sibuti bernilai 11.5 juta ringgit. Dan satu branding pelancongan Parlimen Sibuti pemangkin kepada sektor pelancongan di kawasan ini ialah Taman Negara Nia. Bakal dinaik taraf dengan kemudahan baru seperti bagi trail dan jambatan Sungai Nia dalam usaha menjadikan ia tapak warisan UNESCO. Taman Negara ini dan banyak lagi lokasi pelancongan di Sibuti antara fokus utama bangunkan Parlimen ini yang seterusnya memberi pulangan ekonomi kepada rakyat di P218 Sibuti.
是的，刚刚呢看过的就是我们来自这个实务地的一个选区的资讯哦。那接下来呢，我们这个大选的特别节目呢，要连线给人在明都鲁的我们本台的记者小袁，让他来跟我们报告当时就在地的这个明都鲁的这个选情的战况。我们现在连线给小袁。
还记得沙拉越总理纳杜巴丁尼阿邦佐哈里在2020年一场古晋中华小学校董会举办的元宵节晚宴上宣布，成立一个单位负责沙拉越华小的事务，以制度化方式为沙拉越有需要的华小进行提升和建设发展，以提高相关的特别拨款。沙总理过去也曾出席8个中公新校舍落实典礼上，曾经提到，沙教育政策和联邦有点不一样，因为沙政府认为教育对全部人很重要，无论是华人、马来人、土著还是其他族群等，任何族群都能希望自己的孩子能拥有最好的教育。接下来就让我们来听听沙拉越津贴华小董事会联合总会会长拿督包张文怎么说。
其实沙拉越州政府在过去已经开始就是常年拨款帮助独中，尤其是在已故阿迪那年代啊，就是2014年开始，就第1年开始，他已经开始拨款300万，那么接下来第2年每一年加100万，一直到这2年就是1000万啊。那么现在目前我们所得到的就是信息，就是说我们现在的总理有意思说，把它维持在这个1000万呢。一直到这个也是已故阿迪能的这个所谓的这个信用啊，就是说一直到这个以地养校有收入之后，可能州政府才逐步的就是取消这个常年的现金拨款了。小学这一块呢，3年前就已经开始。第1年就是2020年的时候开始成立有一个华教事务小组，专门负责就是去收集州内所有华小需要搬迁或者需要扩建，包括于是要增购这个土地去建设新校舍的这种租置他们呢。那么第1年2020年就是拨了一个800万，那么去年就是1000万。那么今年是到1200万，这个是根据需求了。那么减轻了一路来我们华教工作人士的负担了，因为过去这些要建这个华小全部都是靠华小的董事部去跟私人、跟华社或者私人企业去劝捐无形之中是一种负担的。那么如果州政府每1年有固定的拨出一个数目来，我相信这个华教工作的人士的工作会减轻了很多这个是我们必须要感谢我们沙拉越州开明的领导有这样的一个政策那么我也希望就是说获得这些拨款的学校董事部要善用这些拨款要好好的利用这些拨款，用到真正需要做的地方上去。如果这样持续下去我觉得以后华校的办校就不会有这么吃力了，因为我已经从事这个华教工作20-30年了，从刚刚开始的时候到现在已经做了好多间这样的学校了，也承受了不少的压力了。不过自从有这个州政府的特别拨款之后，我觉得这个慢慢的减轻了我们的压力，也减轻了我们的负担这个是非常好的一个出发点我是希望州政府会持续。不过难能可贵的是，今年这一次他们把它纳入宣言里面这个是过去未曾有过的。那么过去虽然政府有做 不过从来没有把它纳入宣言呢。或这一次啊，即使他们做了，现在他们又把它纳入宣言了，会加强它的这种所谓力度啦。我也希望以后会这个拨款啊，会按照需求啊，可能如果需求更大的话，这个拨款的数额可能会增加。这个是我们做华教工作人的这种所谓的一种期望啊，一种期望。
那么包章文也感到欣慰，华小在这些年来有族学生人数有逐年增加的迹象，证明了非华裔同胞也给予华文教育一个认同。再加上沙政府的领导一直在帮助华校，因为华校是所有沙拉越人民共同就读的学校。包章文相信将会有更多的有族同胞把他们的子女送去华校就读。以上是小袁和摄影师 Andy Sanjos 来自明都鲁的报道，把时间交还给 Malaysia Decides 主持人。
是的，非常感谢小袁呢，身在明都鲁给我们带来在明都鲁最新的这个情况哦。那当然要全天候留守在我们的这个 TVS 我们会给你带来更多来自明都鲁小袁，包括小袁也会带来更多明都鲁的这个选情战况的。那关于华校或者是教育的这个课题，我们回来会继续的探讨。那接下来呢，我们继续在商业部分的这个课题的探讨，我们请 Handy 来给我们带来另外一个问题。
Right, now moving on to the next question, Dato'. The country has been plagued by COVID-19 virus for more than 2 years. As such, various subsidies were implemented to assist the people, such as bills, water, electricity, and business was one of the sectors that has been hit the hardest, not to mention entrepreneurs. So, do you think the assistances given is the burden of the people?
Oh, definitely. Especially the discount given to the water and electricity bills. Not only it benefit the individual households, it also benefit the business community as well. And with the discount given to the assessment rates and also the waiver of rental for some of the GLC premises, rented to the micro enterprises. I think this will help the traders and the businesses to overcome the challenges posed by the pandemic.
Now, Dato', what other measures could be taken?
More packages from the government. And of course, support from the government is very important, but we do not expect endless support from the government. One of the ways to keep our businesses survive in this very difficult and challenging environment is maybe the SME in particular, they also need to look at ways to transform their business operation, as I said, to become more digital, to make use of the online platform to increase their business volume, and also I think that is the way.
So since business sector was one of the sectors that was hit the hardest, how do business sector recover from this, Dato'?
How?
Yeah. Do you have like ideas?
A lot of businesses, they have received financial aids from the government. As I mentioned just now, one of the most beneficial aids from the government is the West Subsidy Program. That's been that one is under the federal budget. They help the employers to pay part of the salaries of the employees. In fact, I think they have 2 or 3 rounds of subsidies that really help a lot of businesses to pull through. Not only the businesses, also help the employees to keep their job because the business stay afloat.
OK， 那从我最亲爱的沙拉越7.0开始我们就看到沙拉越政府就为这些中小型企业和微型企业提供了 这个援助，一系列的援助。那DATO可不可以分享说这些援助是怎么提供给他们的呢？
The BKSS 7.0. Oh,
Until now.
I think that is the one-off 10,000 financial assistance provided to SME, and also one-off 3,000 financial assistance given to micro enterprises. These financial grants was important because it helped to ease the cash flow of the businesses. And of course, in the process of application, there was some hiccup. So some business operators, they didn't manage to get the grant because documents are not in order, and but eventually I think they managed to settle most of the problems.
那DATO能不能再仔细的说明说，上述的刚说的这些援助呢，对这些企业来说，带来多大的一个帮助呢？你觉得？
这个很难说，因为有些企业1万块对他很重要，是他的命根子，但是有些比较在财务上比较宽裕的公司，可能1万块对他们没有什么。
Not enough.
But as a whole, I think so long as this is a financial handout, it will help a lot of businesses one way or the other, especially to ease their cash flow. Because during this time, the business income was affected by the pandemic.
所以是不是真的足够呢？这一件事情可能就是真的是见仁见智了，对吗？
我告诉你，只要关系到钱的东西，永远是不足够的。
OK。
if you were to ask the people on the ground, they always want to receive more, especially if you are talking about cash handout.
Yeah.
But we know that this is not possible for the government to continue to provide this kind of never-ending handout. Or there must be a limit to it.
Okay.
Now, Dato', moving on to green energy. The government has been advocating for this for the longest time. Okay. Now, this is to expand its structure and also to add value to economic activities, which indirectly increase the income. Now, using the ART project as a point, how do you reckon this could boost like Sarawak's economy?
I didn't really go into the details on how this ART would be implemented. But I think green economy, green energy is the right direction that we are heading. You know, especially even nowadays, if you want to get a loan, especially the corporate, if they want to have any financing facility from any bank, the bank will assess the application based on the ESG. ESG means environment, social and governance. That's mean environment in time to come will play a part in how we do business. That's why I am very grateful that Sarawak government has identified environmental sustainability as one of the 3 main pillars for our PCDS 2030. As for the ART, I think hopefully it will reduce traffic congestion. Just about a couple of days ago, I think last week, at night, I traveled from Kuching to Samarahan. I think around 8 p.m. at night. I didn't expect that there was such a heavy traffic.
Yes.
Traffic jam. At night at 8 o'clock, That is how it came to my mind that maybe it's time that we need an ART. But of course, this process of implementation require a very thorough planning analysis of data, for example, the occupancy rate, alighting and boarding data. I believe Sarawak Metro would have done their job, and I was given to understand that this project is going to kick off very soon, and I would love to see this to be materialized. There must be enough connectivity from station to those key areas. This is the things that we need to look at.
OK， 所以刚才提到这个智轨列车系统的 ART 呢，是我们说到塞车啦，或者是在经济层面方面呢，达豆有自己本身的看法。那其他方面呢，达豆你是怎么看待这个智轨列车系统的呢？你觉得对于我们民生的课题方面或者是民众需要的这个方面，日常方面是否真的需要呢？你的看法是什么？
我觉得可能它需要一段时间来适应因为我们特别是沙威人，特别是古晋人我们去哪里都好，我们希望说那个车位就是出现在我们的眼前，你要他跑多几步，都要他们的命。所以如果是你要用智慧列车第一，民众的那种意识要做出一些改变。我刚才讲了，你必须要有足够的公共交通来去载这个 ART 的这个大客从车站到他们要去的主要的据点，那个是非常重要。如果这些基本的这个衔接没有出现的话，我恐怕它会有一些问题了。I think if you talk about the implementation of ART, there are issues that we need to study very carefully. As I mentioned, one of the key issues would be connectivity from the station to the key stop, like a shopping complex or government offices. You must make sure that there will be public transport to ferry the passenger from one point to the others. Otherwise, the behavior of the public, especially in Kuching, they would prefer that there is a car park in front of you. You expect them to walk a short distance, that is considered as too much for them. So maybe the mindset or the mentality of the public, they need some adjustment. But I believe this is the things that we need, whether now or in the near distant future. This is about timing. But looking at the traffic jam, I think there is a need.
Now, that's still on green energy. Moving forward, how can we prosper with a stable government?
Green energy. But green energy is a way forward, and I think this is the brainchild of our premier, and we have invested in like hydrogen. I just read the paper that in 2027 we will start to export to Korea, I think, and I think it will generate income to the state. In addition of preserving and conserving our environment, not only that, it will be a revenue earner for the state. I think we will succeed, and this is the right direction that we are heading.
那这时候呢，可能我们要回来说关于到我们这个选举的一些 分享和见解了，因为这是我们选举特备嘛 ，Malaysia Decides 嘛。那由于年轻一代是我们沙捞越发展的一个资产呢，也是国家未来的一个希望，所以达到你认为可以通过哪一些倡议或者计划来增强年轻一代的这个能力，无论是透过教育啊、持续的培训啊，或者发展的机会都好，因为我们看到连政府都已经落实这个18岁投票的这个机制了。
你是说要他们参与
In development programs.
development program?
Yeah.
I think the opportunities are there. As I said, as we move towards the high income economy or the developed status by 2030, there'll be a lot of opportunities for the young people especially. And if you talk about politically, this is high time for them to get involved, especially this round. If they have attained the age of 18, I think they should, if they are outstation or overseas, they should find a way to vote. And this is for them to decide their future for themselves. Economically, I think the opportunities will be there. If you look at the strategies put in place by the state government, there are ample opportunities for them to participate in the economy.
Now, how about enhancing their participation in the service or political and economic sector in the bid to develop the state?
That's why I said the young people in Sarawak should be thankful to for being a Sarawakian. You look at the opportunities that have provided by the state government. We have we are going to have 5 international schools, which will come under Yayasan Sarawak. And all the university in Sarawak, like Swinburne, UTS, Curtin, or ICATS, these will come under Sarawak government. As mentioned by the Premier, that the government is going to set up a sovereign wealth fund, and one of the objectives is to, in time to come, he will provide free education for Sarawakians in future. These are all in the pipeline that the young people, so long as you are committed to study, the opportunities to pursue tertiary education will be there. So that's why Sarawak has become the envy of many other Malaysians, because our government has really provided, especially for the younger generations.
Now, since the younger generation are important assets in line with the state's goal to become a developed state by 2030, with the implementation of Undi 18, what is your thoughts on how the younger generation view politics as a whole?
I don't know, honestly. This is yet to be seen. But whether you like it or not, if you look around the world, most of the young people, they are anti-establishment, said to say. They like to follow their sentiments. But having said that, I still hope that they will be mature and rational enough to make the right decision. And the most important thing is to participate in this democratic process by casting their vote. And some may be not interested Some may be not so keen, but some, I really hope that everyone should exercise their duty as a responsible citizen by casting their votes in this coming election. Let themselves decide their future, not to be decided by others.
Yes, yes. So how would we ensure that they make the right choice and not just like voting just for the sake of voting?
There are a lot of information available, newspaper, election manifesto, but we should all
Educate them.
bear in mind that this election is very important as far as Sarawak is concerned. We need a clear and loud voice, and to make sure that we can get back our rights under the MS63 or the IGC committee, or all the rights or autonomy as enshrined in the constitutions.
Thank you, Dato. Before we continue with the discussion, we have on the line our reporter on the ground, Muhammad Yusuf Shukri, to give us the election updates from Muka. Take it away, Yusuf.
Brian, currently I am at Simpang Selangor for the launching ceremony of the Selangor section of the Pan-Borneo Highway, and this is actually the first phase of the Pan-Borneo Highway, which consists of 786 kilometers in total, which stretches out all throughout the Borneo Island, which consists of both Sarawak and Sabah. As you can see, if you can hear the environment right now, you can hear police sirens. Where I think it's our Prime Minister, our caretaker Prime Minister Dato' Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob, who just arrived at the venue, and it's getting very, very busy right here. Okay, but back to the Pan-Borneo Highway itself. On the Selangor section, this consists of 27 kilometers with a cost of 588 million ringgit, and it will consist of an underpass as well. And for your information, this section has been constructed since the 1st of November in 2016, and will benefit not only the people of Selangor but also the people who are residing in Muka, Balingian, Cebu. And I had an interview just now with several head of longhouses. Yep, it's getting pretty busy behind me right now. I had an interview, with several head of longhouses just now, and I'm sorry that I'm not able to show you the visuals yet because it's very, very hectic right here. But from what I've gathered, they said this road will be able to connect their longhouses to the Selangor town, and has successfully and effectively cut their travel time by half. Meaning, if their travel time before this was 1 hour, now it's only down to half an hour. So that is really good news to hear from the people about this Pan-Borneo Highway. And for your information, our caretaker Prime Minister Dato' Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob will be gracing this ceremony. Will be launching this Pan-Borneo Highway section himself, accompanied by our Premier Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, and our caretaker Senior Works Minister Datuk Seri Fadilah Yusof. I wish to show you the excitement that is inside the venue right now, but if I go and cross to you from inside, it'll be super hectic. Everybody will be passing by me, and you won't be able to see me effectively. So stay tuned with TVS for the latest updates on this launching ceremony itself. And of course, for Malaysia Decides, hashtag Sayang Malaysia, hashtag Into Malaysia, hashtag Malaysia Decides. That's all from me, Muhammad Yusuf, Nasrullah, Madeline Dugat, and Anthony from reporting live from Selangor right here, man. Thank you so much for watching, and back to you, Handy and Brian in Kuching.
Thank you, Yusuf, for the insights. Yusuf will be bringing us time-to-time updates from Muka. Now, moving on. Dato', you were mentioning about the education autonomy. So, Dr. Sim has been fighting to regain the state's education autonomy from the federal government. So, if successful, what are the impact on the schools or the people in general?
the impact would be all the teachers will come under the payroll of the state government. And then we have freedom to decide what is the syllabus and how we want to upgrade the facilities in the school. I think this will be a breakthrough if we could regain our autonomy in education. And because as someone who is very much involved in education, sometimes we got very frustrated in dealing with some of the issues, you know, especially like getting approval for any extension project. You need to go through the state education department. After that, you need to submit to federal Ministry of Education. With some beneficial project like this, it is so tedious to even get the approval before you can commence the construction of the project. And other than that, I think the important issue is the syllabus. I think the general public also tend to agree with me that the syllabus sometimes could be seen as too religious, and we should deviate from there. And on top of that, I think greater emphasis should be given to the learning of English to master this important international language. Having said that, I'm not saying that Bahasa Malaysia is not important. It is important as a national language. But sad to say that the standard of English has declined so much over the last year that you compare to those students during the 60s, 70s, or even 80s, now the decline in the standard of English language is very obvious. So one of the things that once we can regain our autonomies in education, I think the issues that we need to look at is the syllabus. Syllabus and also the repair and rebuild of the dilapidated school. This is very debatable issues and has been long outstanding, and not enough attention, I would say, or commitment has been given to rebuild those schools which are really in need of rebuilding or repairing.
Thank you, Dato. Right now, we have on the line our reporter on the ground, Salasia Safian, to give us the election updates from Batang Lupar.
Baik, terima kasih Hendy dan Brian di studio. Sekarang ini saya berada di daerah Lingga yang mana ini merupakan salah satu daripada kawasan DUN yang terletak di bawah Parlimen P201 Batang Lupar. Keluasan kawasan Parlimen ini adalah 1,990 km persegi dengan jumlah penduduk seramai 38,339 orang. Tahun 2020, Parlimen Batang Lupar mempunyai kepadatan penduduk 19 orang per 1 km persegi. Daripada jumlah tersebut, majoriti penduduk di sini merupakan kaum Bumi Putra iaitu sebanyak 97.7% dan kaum Cina pula adalah sebanyak 2%. Walaupun peratusan jumlah kaum Cina di sini adalah agak rendah, namun kemudahan untuk mereka turut disediakan. Malah terdapat sebuah sekolah jenis kebangsaan Chonghua Lingga dibina di sini. Dan seperti yang anda boleh nampak, Di belakang saya sekarang ini adalah terdapat sebuah tua pekong yang didirikan di sini, dan tadi saya juga berkesempatan untuk menemu bual seorang penduduk Cina yang sudah lama menetap di Lingga, Rafidah Lim Abdullah, berkahwin dengan suaminya yang berbangsa Melayu. Katanya kahwin campur bukanlah satu masalah. Baiklah, kita saksikan temu bual ini.
Cina rakyat Melayu boleh duduk si meja makan minum sama best. Mun ada perayaan tahun baru Cina, kadang-kadang ambil balik ke Sibu, berjumpa dengan kakak adik sunun. Kadang mun udah hari raya kita lah, Aidilfitri, sidak cari Sibu, Sinun pergi rumah kami situ. Cik ada putuslah hubungan kami adik-adik masih, walaupun kami ada masuk agama lain. Sidak tetap ada berhubung dengan kami.
Penerimaan sidak ini.
Terima sidak ni boleh kata okey. Sidak ada jadi masalah. Kalau mun sidak datang ke situ, alu bermalam rumah kami dulu semalam, kedua hari bawa balik ke Sibu. Bapak kami hidup magi pun pio juga.
Baik, itulah tadi sedikit perkongsian daripada Faridah, dan itu merupakan perkara biasa di Sarawak. Dan sebelum ini, ketika kami membuat liputan untuk sambutan hari lahir Tuan Yang Terutama Yang di-Pertua Negeri Sarawak Tun Pehin Sri Abdul Taib Mahmud di Miri, sebuah majlis kesyukuran khas telah dianjurkan oleh Unit Hal Ehwal Agama-Agama Lain UNIFOR. Dan yang menariknya lagi pada majlis itu ialah seramai 6 orang pembaca doa dari 6 agama yang berbeza mendoakan kesejahteraan Tun dan kesejahteraan rakyat Sarawak secara amnya. Inilah keunikan Sarawak, harmoni dalam kepelbagaian. Baiklah, setakat ini sahaja laporan daripada saya. Sebarang perkembangan akan kami bawakan dari semasa ke semasa. Saya, Salasia Safian, dan juru kamera Aziz Soleh melaporkan untuk TVS dari P201 Batang Lupar. Sayang Malaysia, into Malaysia, #Malaysia Decides. Kembali ke studio.
非常感谢来自人在这个巴达鲁巴选区的本台记者萨拉夏给我们带来的现场报道。我们回来我们的这个选举特备节目，继续向我们的DATO探讨这个教育的课题。就是说，我们看到沙捞越政府呢一直在向我们的联邦索回我们的教育自主权。那当然，在卫生自主权方面，我们也在努力着DATO，那如果以上这2项的自主权我们实现的话，将如何改变我们现有的教育还有这个卫生系统
呢？教育和卫生自主权都是很重要的一个民生课题啊。像这个医疗自主权，如果是能够被拿回的话，我们至少像癌症中心我们就可以随时很快的落实。这个也是其中一个课题啦。因为如果是你要向联邦争取医院的建设等等因为它的这个权限是属于联邦嘛，所以在很多时候我们要在建更多的诊所或者是提供更好的医疗设备方面就会绑手绑脚。同样的教育问题也是这样，如果是我们能够拿回自主权，我们在州际里面我们就可以解决所有的这个教育所面对的问题。So for healthcare and education autonomies, I think these are the 2 areas of the most important as far as reclaiming our autonomy or devolution of autonomy is concerned. If we talk about upgrading of healthcare facilities, you need to go to federal at the moment. Like any issue concerning education, you also need to go to federal. With the devolution of autonomy in healthcare and education, we could decide at the state level. And because these are the most important issues that it will affect our livelihood, because healthcare is important. Like we have been requesting or appealing to the federal government for setting out of the cancer center in Kuching. so far this has not been done, but as far as I know, it's already in the pipeline.
Okay.
I think they are going to build it. But imagine if we had this autonomy earlier on, we wouldn't have to wait for such a long time to get this materialized. So we just keep our finger crossed. We hope that we could really get back the autonomy for healthcare and education.
Yeah. Now, Dato', I would like to talk about the UEC examination.
Okay.
Yeah. So, in line with one of GPS's trusts in the manifesto that was recently announced by the Premier of Sarawak, whereby the government aims to increase quality human capital through education. Now, talking about UEC examination that I believe not many know about, and taking this topic away from politics, Sarawak government is the first in Malaysia to recognize the certificate. Yeah. Now, how has this, or how will this impact the students in Sarawak?
It will impact the students from independent middle schools because by recognizing UEC certificate, the state government has opened up the career opportunities for these UEC holders. That means to say those students who have obtained UEC certificate, they are allowed or entitled to apply to become a state civil servant. This is some kind of additional career option for them.
OK， 那到目前为止有没有掌握到一些所谓相关的数据，说这些手持统考文凭的这些学生或者毕业生已经加入了这个公务员的这个行列呢？
我是没有他的切实的数据啦，但是据我了解，他的人数不多，人数不多，所以华总还有这个读中董联会应该了，他们也在探讨如何去鼓励更多的统考毕业生去申请加入我们的民事服务行列。I think I don't have the figure how many UEC holders have actually applied and be accepted as a state civil servants, but I think the figure is not satisfactory. That's why the Federation of Chinese Associations and also the Board of Management of these independent middle schools, they are thinking ways of promoting, create awareness to the school leavers or UEC certificate holders, encourage them to apply to become a civil servant in the state civil service.
OK， 那随着沙捞越的这个统考文凭就获得我们沙捞越政府的认可，这也跟我们这里的这个就业机会有着一个非常密切的关系。那Dato'在您看来，此举会如何创造我们这边的商业还有就业机会，来提高沙捞越这里的收入呢？
你说就因为承认统考文凭？
是啊，有没有可能呢？在这一个商业或就业机会方面，对我们这统考生，
他的那个信息是这样的，我个人认为，沙捞越政府承认统考文凭，就是说，他发出了一个重要的信息，就是说他珍惜人才，避免人才外流。所以如果是说你说会增加收入，这个需要时间来印证。至少，我觉得统考毕业生或者是读中生，他们感受到他们受重视，他们会留下来在沙捞越服务或者是找工作。留住人才就是发展经济的一个重要的一个元素。So by recognizing UEC, actually, Sarawak government sent out an important message that they appreciate the graduates or those who graduated from independent middle school, it prevents brain drain. That means to say, these students, after they finish their tertiary education, they are likely to come back or to remain in Sarawak to contribute and to serve the state. So in that way, by having these talents, this is one of the prerequisites for developing the economy of Sarawak. I think the message given or sending by the Sarawak government by recognizing UEC certificate, I think the message is more important than anything else. The other thing is also give confidence to the parents, those who send their kids to study in independent middle school. They know that there is an additional option in the career path for their kids, by studying in the independent middle school.
Now, Dato', let's move on to Sarawak's right, yeah?
Okay.
Over the years, the government has been pursuing Sarawakian rights under the MA 63, and having a greater voice in the parliament will definitely allow for all the matter that you mentioned earlier to be expedited.
Okay.
So what are your thoughts on that?
Especially after the late Tan Sri Toknan, we have emphasized a lot on reclaiming our rights under the MS 63 or IGC report. I think the important thing is to create awareness among the Sarawakians in general. We know our rights. Whether this has been taken away is another issue. We know that we have the rights under MS 63, or we have the right as enshrined in the federal constitution. I think this is for a start. And also, because of this awareness, I think this is instrumental in getting the amendment to the eventual amendment of the federal constitution, like Article 1, Sub-Article 2, or Article 160, which restore the status of Sabah and Sarawak as equal partners, like Semenanjung, Malaysia. This is very critical and important as we embark on the journey to reclaim our autonomies.
Yeah.
就作为沙拉越人呢，我们当然就是希望看到有更多的代表出现在我们联邦的层面这一点。我们看到当中的承诺就包括说，让更多的沙拉越人本着这个我们所谓 Pulau Borneo 的这个精神呢，来出任联邦的一些关键的公共职位。达豆，你对此你有什么样的一些见解或者看法呢？
我绝对认同，因为这一块已经被忽略很多年了。I think I support the call to get more Sarawakians to become whether Director General or the head of department at the federal level. I think this has been ignored for a long time, and it's time for us to make our voice heard by the federal government. Yes.
Now, Dato', one last question on election. Yeah, how do we convince urban voters to shift their votes to a proven administration like the Gabungan Party Sarawak GPS?
How?
Yeah, in your own words.
In my own words, I think sincerity and commitment. Maybe it takes time, but I have to say that the administration under the leadership of Yang Amat Berhormat Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari has proved that he adopt a people-centric policy, and he adopt a moderation approach. Through my communication with him, especially my request put forward to set up this special unit for Chinese schools. he is the leader who is willing to listen. And so long as our request is reasonable and beneficial to the Sarawakians in general, he will provide. He will provide. And as I said, through this pandemic period, we can see that, in fact, we are very blessed to have a state government who has given so much to the Sarawakians in helping to overcome the challenges and difficulties posed by the pandemic. All in all, 9 packages totaling over 6.7 billion. This is a lot of money. Yeah. No state in Malaysia could come up with that kind of money to help its people. And this election, as I said, is very crucial in the sense that it's high time for us to get back our rights and to make our voice heard loud and clear by the incoming government. I don't know who will be the Prime Minister, who will be the next federal government. I think it's time for them to show their sincerity and commitment. I don't want to listen to have any more special committee to study and to discuss about the devolution of autonomy. If you want to do it within 3 months or 6 months, just give it back to Sarawak. Yeah. This is what we want. Commitment must be there, sincerity must be there. I believe the urban voters would buy that. But there must be some form of very strong commitment.
Yeah. Now, talking about Sarawak's benefit, how can we make a change from within Sarawak in order to have a united voice in the federal level?
Change. We hope that, I don't know how much support or how many seats would the GPS manage to secure, but we need to have a strong mandate in order to make our voice heard by the whoever would be the next government. Looking at the political development in West Malaysia, I think no political alliance would be able to secure clear majority or even simple majority in Semenanjung. So Sarawak is well placed in a position that I don't like to use the word kingmaker, but we will be in a very dominant position that so long as we secure enough seats, like 25 or even 28 or even, more than that. I think we are very optimistic that this time round, make sure we get what we want. We want no more than what is provided in the Constitution or in the MA 63, but no less than what is provided to us. We want those rights and interests which are provided or enshrined in the Federal Constitution and MA 63. We hope our GPS would do some
changes,
significant breakthrough for Sarawakians.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nicely put, Dato' Jonathan. Right, we have reached the end of our discussion. We'd like to thank you for sharing your thoughts with us on Malaysia Decides.
非常感谢我们的拿督蔡文铎律师呢，今天来到我们的选举特备节目 Malaysia Decides 呢，跟我们分享很多他宝贵的一些见解哈。那接下来呢，我们要把时间交回给我们的技术人员。
Now, any developments regarding the GE15 can be found on all our social media platforms. such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and our official website at tvstv.my. With that, I'm Handy Gui.
I'm Brian Liu. Sayang Malaysia.
Into Malaysia. #Malaysia Decides.